Hello everyone, and just a brief intro. I am absolutely roasting, so we'll keep this quick. So Kamikaze Pro is doing a show this Friday, and they've announced another match after myself and Colin had did a preview, which is Hassan Ali versus Kay Jutler. Um, I haven't got any research via this or anything like that, but just to throw it out there, it's going to be a banger of a match. Hassan deserves everything he can get. From where he's come from to where he is now was incredible, and to put on a match with such a person like Kay Jutler will be an amazing experience for himself. And hopefully he does pick out the win, but I'm looking forward to that. But before we get into the video with Carl, as usual, like and subscribe. We're on Facebook as well as the other things above. They're same tags you can get just there. The subscribe account, we're doing very well, so please join us if you'd like the content you're getting. We've got gaming videos with Frozzy and DP doing GM mode and WWE 2K23. We've got more previews coming out. We've got a review with Alex Connors, which is going to come out this Saturday now because I've been called into work. That's why I actually look presentable for once. And without further ado, let's roll into the video. And thank you once again. Hello everyone and welcome back to the HCW YouTube channel. My name is Ray Russell and welcome to the UK Indie Show previews. And for once, it's not Kamikaze Pro Live, it's the main shows. And we've got the GM himself, Colin. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Aaron. Thank you so much for having me on the show. It is a pleasure to be here and looking forward to running down this Friday's upcoming show with you.
Yeah, definitely. We've tried to get you on a few times and you've avoided me like the plague. No.
I'd love to say that you're lying, but yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, I just cornered him into this. So, Kamikaze Pro 10th anniversary show is June 23rd, so this Friday coming up. And it's at the Kamikaze Dojo, which is a very, very good turn of events. There was a video that you showed out live, and you're going to be doing it live from the dojo. So, how did that come about?
Yeah, it's a really interesting prospect that I love the idea of. It was all came from the mysterious man who is simply known as Kamikaze Pro Management. I don't use his name publicly, but the man that we know at the head of things, so to speak. It was his brainchild, and they ran a bit of a behind closed doors test show with some of the trainees at the dojo, and it went wonderfully. Like, the facilities and whatnot were perfect. They tested out like sound systems and all that kind of stuff and positioning of cameras and whatnot, and yeah, it just went really well. So we have decided to steam ahead with it because unfortunately our previous venue, the mill, we are not going to be running at anymore, which is a shame. It's one of the things, business is business. So yeah, we are still in the heart of Digbeth. We're still in a really, really beautiful location. Even closer, in fact, to the city centre than we were previously. We're a little bit closer down the road. And most importantly, we have the control over this venue. So this is going to be really, really fun to actually run somewhere that is our home, somewhere where our students are really comfortable, somewhere where our roster hopefully will be very, very comfortable too. It's a really exciting thing, and it's going to be interesting. The most interesting thing about it is that we have decided to run it as an entirely standing show, which
Yeah.
I know can be, an interesting atmosphere, but I'm really hoping that that's actually going to add to the atmosphere and create something really cool. So that's something I'm really excited about. The fans round the edge of the ring, banging their hands on the mat, all of that classic kind of indie stuff that you see from certain promotions. I've got all these visions dancing through my head, and I hope that it comes off. But it's going to be something cool.
No, hopefully it does come off because it does. I like the shows where you can see them just whammed to the ring.
Yeah.
And a random factoid I found out when I was researching the show is that dojo show that you put on the tester is on Cage Match.
It is, and I
Yeah,
don't know how
randomly.
that happened. Yeah, I only noticed that myself the other day. I was on Kamikaze's Cage Match to look up some facts about actually the very
Yeah.
first show. I was looking back at show number one. But yeah, when I went on there, I saw this one show that was literally just labeled as like Kamikaze Pro. It didn't even have like a show number or a title or anything. It was like, what the hell's that? And yeah, somebody's put the entire test show. So, I mean, obviously, it's one of our trainees. So we're going to hunt them down and string them up. But yes, somebody on the inside has apparently decided that that now counts as a show with an official attendance of 0, I guess.
Yep, it's an official show now, so the records on there will stand forever and a legit cage match.
Yeah.
But I loved it, I'm going to be honest. The cage match, I wasn't there before anyone questions that. But we'll move on to the first match. So it was hard to pick which one to discuss first, except for obviously the main event. But we're going with the recent acquisition of Bullet Club, Driller Maloney, which is just incredible in itself, versus Shigehiro Irie. So obviously, Driller's just joined Bullet Club after betraying the United Empire is probably the best way of doing it. And he's coming back just for this, pretty much, isn't he? Which is incredible.
Yeah, it's a really, really cool thing that he's doing. And Driller is obviously an old friend of Kamikaze Pro. He is, in fact, he was in the very first Kamikaze Pro match. He was in the opening match on the beginning. So he is, the oldest friend of Kamikaze Pro. So it's really cool that he is coming back to this. And yeah, to us to have this match with like Bullet Club versus Strong Hearts is a really big thing, because that's obviously not something that you would see in Japan itself usually, because they're in different companies and whatnot. But yeah, for that angle of it, and then to have one of the newest arrivals of Bullet Club on our show in Birmingham up against Shigehiro Irie, who has just made such a name for himself over the last few years. Big kind of fan favorite here on the British scene. Obviously, has wrestled in all the big places in the UK. Has wrestled Kamikaze Pro before, of course. Had a stonking match with Kay Jutler on I want to say Underground 6 off the top of my head. I believe it was
2019.
Thank you. That's the one. Yeah, had a great match there, and we are thrilled to have him back. And I honestly, this at the end of the day, to steal a phrase from a certain power of positivity loving WWE superstar, but if you like big meaty men slapping meat, this is going to be the contest for you. This is two big lads who are going to wreck one another all around our dojo, and I'm really excited for it, because that is entirely my kind of thing.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. Like two massive men. Like as I said, if people go watch the Kay Jutler Irie match, that was just incredible as well. Two massive men in each other. Looking up as I was researching this, Maloney's a bit of a bogey wrestler for Irie. They faced each other 3 times, and Maloney's just won all 3 matches. So this is kind of like you prove yourself kind of thing to Irie. He's coming to Kamikaze. Maloney's one of his big promotions. Can he do the job against them?
Absolutely. That's a really interesting facet of it is, Irie is essentially coming into Dan's back garden here. Like, Dan is obviously from Birmingham, born and raised. And with him already having that, as you said, that singles record against him that is less than stellar, I think Sheik's probably coming in with a lot of pressure in terms of wanting to get that W. But in exactly the same respect, Driller Maloney is going to want to stand up and say, I'm back in my hometown. I'm wrestling in front of my people. I ain't going to be put down here. I'm representing Bullet Club for the first time in the UK. Yeah, it's going to be big for both guys. They both are really going to want the victory.
Yeah, and it's just incredible. Like my mates were saying from our channel, like that post when you posted it out, it went off on Twitter. Like everyone was posting it everywhere. Yeah, it's one of them dream matches. Instead of they've had 3 matches so far, but it's one of them dream matches. You see it live in like the dojo that close is going to be. It's not going to be safe. Just thinking about it, I said that.
Probably not. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see those 2 guys that close up and feel the actual power coming off those 2. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Normally I make predictions, and this one's going to be a hard one. I'm gonna go with Driller just because he obviously hometown advantage kind of thing. He's got something to prove by being in Bullet Club, beating outsider in Strong Hearts. So it's going to be an incredible match, though.
It's an interesting prediction, and the thing that I would say, obviously, as the general manager of Kamikaze Pro, I cannot be seen to play favourites, so I will not be making predictions. But I will say that considering the one-on-one record, the bookmakers' odds would probably agree with you. But Shigehiro Irie, incredible competitor, never to be counted out.
Yeah, to be fair, Irie, his best. It's been his best record recently as well. Like he's been WXW champion and so forth like that, so he's doing pretty well. But moving on from that match, a match that I'm very much interested in. As people know, there's a bias going on in this channel, supposedly, that Alex keeps bringing out. So we've got the Bled, Clint Margera and Luke Douglas, who are the Kamikaze Pro Tag Team Champions, versus Sunshine Machine. So from this asset, they've held the title for 647 days so far. Longest reigning champs by far. Obviously, COVID did help a decent amount of that, but you know, it is what it is. Title reigns.
Oh no, they won the titles post COVID.
Yeah, there you go. So
Yeah.
even I'm letting them down now. They defeated Sunshine Machine 0121 and the Young Guns to pick up the titles, I believe. And they not recently, last year they defeated Sunshine Machine to retain the titles. So this is going to be a banger of a match, but Sunshine Machine are, as said, like they're not going in favourites.
See, for me, it's a little bit different, this one, because although the record in Kamikaze Pro does state that, you've got to take into account a couple of factors. First of all, the initial contest, the one that you mentioned, the four-way match, let's be honest, Sunshine Machine got screwed in that situation because Clint Margera had faked. Yes, they did. Clint Margera had faked an injury, had been taken out of the match, and then all of a sudden came sprinting out of the back when the referee's back was turned, delivered a chair shot. Sunshine Machine were done over there, quite frankly. But the other thing that you've got to consider is since the last time that these two teams faced off, which was at the beginning of last year, Chuck Mambo has pinned Clint Margera in a Kamikaze Pro ring, and TK Cooper has pinned Luke Douglas in a Kamikaze Pro ring. Those two things happened 2 shows in a row last year. That's why Sunshine Machine have been given this title shot, because they deserve it. They've got that momentum. And yeah, to be quite frank, I think that cancels out those earlier moments, especially when you consider the Bled shenanigans that went into them. I really think that it's actually Sunshine Machine who might well be the threat in this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a very good match. Have you ever heard of the story of walking off the injury? Clint was injured when he had it, walked it off backstage, and came back as the true hero of Kamikaze.
So this, I'm guessing, then, is the way that your accused bias leans, is it? Is this?
No, clearly not. I'm not biased at all.
I will be happy to come on here and swing that bias in the opposite direction as a man who's been physically assaulted by those people enough times in my life. Yeah, I will happily take the fight against the Bled. But no, they are, for all of their many negative rates, one can't deny that they've been an incredibly successful tag team, and they're certainly a danger and know how to use the rules, bend the rules to their advantage, which at the end of the day has led them to a lot of success. So they're not to be counted out. But yeah, I really think, considering the recent results, Sunshine Machine, big, strong chance that they are going to be the ones to finally end this reign of terror.
Yeah, and there's also, which you didn't bring up, the Bled haven't got to tag that much recently, whereas obviously Sunshine Machine tag everywhere. So they're a bit more well-oiled and ring rust on the Bled. Obviously Luke tagged with MJ Grayson recently, but that's completely different than tagging with your actual tag team partner.
Yeah, it is. That's a very different thing. And although Luke has been, as you said, wrestling in tags recently as well, also Clint Margera is not by trade a tag wrestler. He hasn't been in kind of a solid tag team for probably about 4 years now, aside from the Bled. Like, that's the only one that he's been in. It's been a long-running team since pre-COVID, I think. So that fact that Sunshine Machine, up and down the country in every promotion you can think of, have been having tag team match after tag team match after tag team match. A lot of factors are going in that favour, and absolutely, the Bled's record as champions is over 600 days is not something to be sniffed at, and the previous results when they've actually met as teams, as you quite rightly say, favour the Bled. So it's an interesting balance. There are big arguments for both sides to be the favourites in this one almost, and it's a tricky one to balance. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I think it is a great representation of our tag team division that we've got these two fantastic teams coming up against each other yet again, and are going to be, one of these teams is going to be carrying those tag team championship belts into the future.
Yeah, and they said this whole card is incredible. Like, we get down it like each match after another is a banging match. As I said, non-biased, I'm going to go with the Bled.
Of course you are.
Moving on.
Saw you smarming up to that toe rag Luke Douglas on a previous edition of this podcast.
Smarming up. If you watch, supposedly Alex Connors says a smarm up as well. He says that for some reason Luke Douglas has an extra star no matter what he's doing. And it's become a joke now that I send Alex every time you announce a match like this Sunshine. I send him a 6-star rating. It's like the match hasn't happened.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Judging by my watching of your product in the past. So yeah, I think I'm on Alex's side here.
No one's on Alex's side. Moving on to a match which I'm very much looking forward to, just because obviously it's a lot focused on the live show as well. We've got George Lydon, the Kamikaze Pro live champion, versus Chantel Jordan, the Relentless champion, and a winner takes all match.
Yeah.
So that's in one its same is going to be like there's a lot riding on this.
There really is. Yeah, somebody is coming out of it without a championship. That's the major thing here. Like, one of these two great competitors is going to end up losing the title. Either Chantal will become the first ever 3-time holder of the live championship, which would obviously be a huge thing in itself, but also the possibility that George Lydon, a lad who only made his debut on the main roster a year ago, is going to be potentially taking the Relentless Championship, already a championship that's been held by the likes of Pete Dunne, Drilla Maloney, Tyler Bay, Ryan Smile, like a who's who of Kamikaze Pro history have held the Relentless Championship. And George Lydon, a year after debuting, could be the next name on that list. It's massive, massive thing. And as you quite rightly say, the most important thing about this contest is that it hugely represents the dojo. These two competitors are two of the proudest products that we have at the Kamikaze Pro Dojo, I would say, two of the biggest prospects that we have helped to produce in recent years. And that's not to throw anything towards any of the other wonderful people that are coming out of the dojo, folks like Man like Darius and even the 21st century Toe Rag himself. There's so many wonderful talents, but these two are like just such stars already. George is now smashing it in a lot of other companies.
Yeah.
I have the great pleasure of announcing him in Coventry, in his home city, quite often for Wrestle Carnival, and he has taken that place by storm again. Been there less than a year and is already like one of their biggest stars. He just has an aura about him everywhere he goes. That match that he had with Chris Ridgway on our 9th anniversary show, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen a crowd take to a young competitor who they've never seen wrestle before that quickly. Within 10 minutes of the bell ringing at the start of that match, a room full of people were behind George Lydon, and he was wrestling against one of the biggest stars on the independent wrestling scene, like not just in Britain, but on the indie wrestling scene in general. Chris Ridgway is a world-traveled, world-renowned competitor, and within a few minutes of that match starting, an entire room was roaring on this rookie to take him down. It's incredible. And on the opposite side of that, Chantel Jordan debuted with us at 15 years of age, went viral for fighting Joey Janela in the streets of Coventry, has held the Relentless Championship, the first female holder of the Relentless Championship ever, held it very, very proudly, took it off the longest reigning champion at the time as well. An incredible resume of matches in Kamikaze Pro in her own right. Yeah, these two are absolutely wonderful talents. And for anybody who doesn't know, they have torn the hell out of one another on the Kamikaze Pro Live brand twice in the last few months. The scores are 1-1. So this is not only for all the marbles, but let's be honest, it's for all the bragging rights as well.
Yeah, and it's important matches, this 1-1 as well. So George defeated Chantel to pick up the title at the Live 27. And he's held it 366 days, so he's just gone over a year. So happy anniversary, George. Maybe not having it for such longer, but happy anniversary. And then Chantel's held the Relentless 582 days. These are all as recordings. Obviously, they're going to be slightly off when this is released.
Yes, of course.
Including defeating George recently, Live 33. You mentioned that match against Chris Ridgway. That was my match of the year for Kamikaze of that year. And then Chantel's had a match of the year for me as well when she fought Millie McKenzie at Frostfight, I believe it was.
Oh, what a match that was!
Good.
Yeah, that was. Off the top of my head, I want to say Frostfight 7. I'm probably going to be wrong, but it was Frostfight when we returned to Birmingham after our full year of running shows in Coventry. It was our first show back in Birmingham at the Irish Centre in Digbeth. So literally, like spitting distance from the Kamikaze Pro Dojo, you can see it out of the front doors. And yeah, those two rightfully main evented that show and put on an absolute classic. Yeah, you're not wrong there.
Yeah.
So both absolutely have had match of the year contenders in the past, and I honestly think they could produce another one this Friday.
Yeah, like these are not like two young people that they're not gonna be the opposite of rising to the occasion. I was trying to think out of that, like scared of rising to the occasion is probably the best way of putting it. It's just going to be really good, Colin. I can't think of it.
Honestly, it's one of those situations where there isn't much more you can say sometimes. Like, yeah, this is going to be an absolute stormer of a match. Like, you need to see it in person. It's going to be incredible. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and there's just so much around it. It's hard to, like I said, I'll try and make predictions, but it's hard to pick who's going to be it. So Chantel, third time she could win the title. George, stupidly young, becoming the Relentless champion. George is a freak. Is the best way I put it.
It's unbelievable. Have you? I don't know if you saw. I shared recently a video of him over in Wrestle Carnival where he went from the floor of the ring to the top rope just with a step. Like, he didn't even jump. He just sort of stepped onto the top rope and then hit a perfect tope con giro. That's insane.
Yeah, George is a hack. Not a hack as in a bad, like he's over the hill, by the way.
Yeah,
just in case someone was going, hold on, he's a hack. As soon as he did that, I knew his career was over. And but yeah, I'm gonna go. I feel like I'm gonna go George. I feel like it's. I don't think it's weird. I still think, even though he's a champ, but they're both the champ, I feel like he's the underdog because this is a main title, like Relentless Championship going like. So I'm gonna go with George. Even though I normally every time Chantel comes up, I go get with her against anyone. I feel like this is George's time.
Interesting call. An interesting call. I'm certainly going to be really intrigued to see who comes out on top. I think this is the match, honestly, like more than any other, that I genuinely think could go either way. Like, both of these competitors are so good. Both of them already know each other so well from their previous contest that, this could genuinely, I think, this is balanced on a knife edge. It's one moment, one mistake is going to ultimately crown the winner of this one. I think that's the main thing to look out for, is the first person who slips, I think they're going to regret it. Or the first person who goes the extra mile, they're going to be the one to take it. It's going to be one of those two things. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be an absolute show stealer. That's for sure.
Yeah, and you said, like, there's no weakling. They're both champions. It's just winner takes all. Moving on. So all of these are title matches. So we're moving on to a triple threat that you. He spoke to you on Twitter about it because it was when you first announced that it's a big match for the women's championship. I was like, well, clearly. There's only one match could happen here. There's two people up on the poster. Obviously, Lana's the champ, so she has to be in the match. And then Xia Brookside's on the poster, so she has to be in the match. So it's clearly a singles match. While you like, and then suddenly you go and Millie McKenzie's in this match as well. And I was like,
absolutely. As you quite rightly said, Millie McKenzie herself, in her own right, a former kind of match of the year candidate wrestler for Kamikaze Pro, somebody who was with us for a good few years, and we loved absolutely having her as a part of the roster, and we're really, really glad that she's coming back to us now. It's going to be fantastic. And yeah, it was nice to have like one or two folks that we sort of kept off the poster. And when you saw that match announcement, as you quite rightly said, like, let's be honest, when we teased this is going to be the Fighting Females Championship match, you look at that poster, Lana's there, Xia's there, okay, that's going to be the Fighting Females Championship match. And while that would absolutely be an incredible match in itself, no, we got a little twist up our sleeves as well.
A little twist. But yeah, so the stats of this. So Lana won the championship the 9th anniversary. She's defended it a lot since then.
The fighting champion Lana Austin, she's proclaiming herself.
Yep, so fighting champion, 0 defences, but more importantly, a voice of an angel. That's I like to put that out there.
Look, I'm telling you right now, that's not happening. First and foremost, not on my show. No. If anybody's going to sing in my ring, it's me.
Duet?
Jesus. But yeah, the Lana Austin title reign has been a long and eventful one, full of 5-star classics. Lana has not defended the title once since winning it. Part of that, obviously, is due to the fact that we have had slightly fewer shows in the last couple of months, which is, not Lana's fault. But the declaration that she has decided to make that she is this fighting champion, and I will tell you that in private conversation, has compared herself to Brock Lesnar. That's yeah, that's the level that she's currently thinking of for her championship dominance.
I can see the similarities. Like, she turns up when it's needed. I didn't mean like luck boys, by the way. But she turns up when it's the big events. She doesn't need the small paydays. It's the big payday.
But yeah, so Lana Austin has been, as you said, she'll be champion for basically a year. Like by the time this show comes around, because she won it at the 9th anniversary. We're now obviously going to be celebrating the 10th. So actually will be defending the title for the first time, and we are very much looking forward to seeing her do that and seeing how that goes down. After it was a bit of a plot twist that there was even a fighting females championship match at all at the 9th anniversary, of course, because that match was originally going to be Chantel defending her Relentless Championship against Lana Austin. Lana questioned at the start of the match why the Fighting Females Championship wasn't involved, why the Fighting Females Championship hadn't been seen in Kamikaze for a while. I did explain at the time that I actually had plans for the Fighting Females Championship, but unfortunately it had been vacated because our previous champion had decided to leave wrestling, which, absolutely, people have got to make the decisions that work best for themselves, and all of the love and respect in the world to Shikara. She was absolutely wonderful, and we loved her being a part of the Kamikaze Pro family. If she ever does come back to the sport, you can guarantee that she'll be back in a Kamikaze Pro ring because we love her. But certainly for the moment, she's decided to step away from the business, understandable. So I had plans for the Fighting Females Championship, and Lana Austin said, screw your plans. I want the championship on the line right now. And then Alexis Falcon turned up, who wasn't even booked to be on the show, and said that if the Fighting Females Championship was going to be on the line, she, who had recently debuted in Kamikaze Pro just a couple of months previously and made quite an impact, should be involved. And then Lucia Lee made her main roster debut, which was a wonderful moment, and humbly suggested that as the kind of newest fighting female graduate of the dojo, it would be a wonderful thing for her to also get that opportunity, which I quite rightly agreed with. So, yeah, we ended up with an elimination 4-way for the Fighting Females Championship out of what was supposed to be a singles match for the Relentless Championship. Because that's the kind of thing that just sort of happens in Kamikaze Pro. Yeah.
But that match was incredible, by the way. Like, Lana Austin, like, was joking and defended, but that match, she took it to everyone, and like the way she won the match was brutal. That move, like that spit, brutal.
That honestly, like for all of the the gags back and forth about Lana's vocal range and championship pedigree and all that kind of thing. Like, genuinely, she's obviously an absolutely fantastic in-ring competitor, and yes, that discus forearm is unbelievable. Like, it's terrifying to watch. If she came anywhere near me attempting that kind of thing, I would be on my ass, because she has got so much raw power behind that. She's a great competitor, one to be feared, and an old friend of Kamikaze Pro as well. Has been with us practically for as long as the fight females division has been a thing. Very, very proud to have her as a member of our roster, and indeed as a champion.
Yeah, and then she's firstly going to be facing Xia, who's returning since Sky's Limit 8, where she lost to Mariah May and Riho. The UK Riho, for anyone that questions that. I don't know why I have to mention that, because some people have questioned, like, with Riho. It's like, yeah, the UK one.
So the wonderful Riho who wrestles in the UK is Rio.
Yeah.
And the one that you're thinking of, who is a slightly more elite flavored wrestler, is Riho. That's the different. The H is in a different place. But yes, you're quite right. Returning for the first time in a little while, but again, old friend of Kamikaze Pro, long-time stalwart of the fighting females division, long-time friend of Kamikaze Pro, has done a lot of things for Kamikaze Pro that wouldn't even like be out in the public eye and that kind of thing. Honestly, like, Cybrookside is somebody who's been important to us. She's very, very cool to have around. I once also named her finishing move, which I'm quite proud of. I love doing little things like that. The Angel's Kiss was my creation, so to speak. And when I say my creation, obviously it was her creation. I just put a label on it. But yeah, I'm taking all the credit for that.
Yeah,
of course, it's mine now. But yeah, she's been somebody who's been with us for a long time, had a lot of success and a lot of great matches with us. And it's almost a shock that she's never held that fighting females championship, never really been hugely in contention for it. I believe she has challenged for it previously, but has never had that sort of long running kind of shot at it in that respect. it's something that is a real surprise. And yeah, I think she's a very dangerous competitor, especially with obviously over the last couple of years she's been off wrestling all around the world and had a contract with a the big company. So she has been doing really really well. She's going to have a lot more strings to her bow, and is going to be definitely a danger to both of her opponents.
Yeah, and then to top that all off, you've got Millie McKenzie, so former tag team champion with Kamikaze. Um, she hasn't appeared since Over the Top 7 2020, which is it's a long time.
It is,
Obviously, a lot was going on during that period.
of course.
But she, unless I'm mistaken, she's never won the Fighting Females title as well, which is mental in my head
No,
as well. I just
no,
instantly thought I was checking the round. I was going, I'll find her. And oh yeah, she hasn't won it.
nope. She's never been fighting female champion. She was, however, the first ever female title holder in
Yeah,
Kamikaze Pro. That is something she has to her name. Yeah, that Kamikaze Pro Tag Team Championship reign. She was the first woman ever to hold one of our belts. So yeah, that is a huge thing for her, obviously, in her history. And as you quite rightly said, has also had some incredible matches in our history. The one that you mentioned with Chantel, probably standing out as
yeah,
being like it's one of the best matches the Kamikaze Pro have ever had. So of course it's going to stand out as being the top-notch one. But there are a couple of others. I mean, I remember when she appeared as a surprise at our anniversary show a few years ago and took out the Elliot Jordan Experience, which was always fun to watch happen. That was a
poor
great
Elliot.
moment. Oh, poor Elliot. Uh, yeah, that was great stuff as well. And yeah, she's been a friend of ours for a long time, and in particular was a real kind of part of the family during the Coventry times where we were
Mm.
running regularly at the Empire in Coventry. Yeah, obviously Millie is from Coventry. She was a huge hometown hero there, absolutely beloved, and yeah, she had some absolutely fantastic matches for us over there as well. So always exciting to finally have her back. It's been something we've been trying to work out, but of course, as you quite rightly said, since 2020 we've had COVID, we've had folks moving to various companies and having contracts and that kind of thing. Now that she is a bit more of a free agent and a bit more back on the UK scene, absolutely thrilled to welcome her back to the Kamikaze fold.
Yeah, and something that's probably going to vex Lana a bit. She recently, Lana defeated Millie at the Progress show recently, like a big title match. Thought she was done with Millie McKenzie, and then you've just thrown her in this triple threat.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, Millie McKenzie is somebody who, just by reputation and by what she's done in Kamikaze Pro in the past, deserves a shot at this championship. Like I said, the major thing with her is being the first ever female holder of any Kamikaze Pro championship. That is something massive that absolutely kind of puts her in good stead for challenging for this title and puts her obviously as a massive threat for it. And yeah, Lana's probably a little bit worried about that considering the dealings that she's had with her recently. But big Lana Lesnar, I'm sure she'll be all right with it.
This is what anniversaries are all about, though. It's all about like bringing like the old guard back, and like there's reasons to bring them all back.
100%.
This is difficult to pick. I'd probably, because big match Lana. I'm gonna go big match Lana.
Big match Lana.
That can be used in the intro if you want.
Okay, thanks, mate. I'll make it. I'll write it down on one of my cards right now.
You're joking. If it's in there, I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna have that Spider-Man meme moment in the crowd, aren't you?
But yeah, once again, it's just there's no match that's going to let this down. They're all big matches.
Yeah.
And then one match which is big for loads of different reasons. Man like the race, the Kamikaze Pro champion, versus MVK, Valkabius. There's a lot to unpack on this. So Manda wrote the race, 200-day reign. He's like Lana, he's defended it a lot. Once again, obviously, it's due to what we've already wrote previously, but Doris has decided not to say that he's an all-defending champion so far. So
That's the difference, yeah.
And MVK recently came back as well, which was nice to see against Joseph Connors, which was an absolute banger of a match.
What a match.
I think I rated the match of the night that night. It was so good.
Yeah.
What show was that?
That was actually 9th anniversary, I believe.
I lie. Man like the race versus Chuck Mambo, right? It was the was that the main event of that show?
That wasn't. No.
Okay, yeah. So MVK, yeah, that was definitely my match of the night. For some reason, they're all mixing into one.
MVK Joe Connors happened on the 9th anniversary.
Yeah.
Man Like the Race versus Chuck Mambo happened at Frostfight, which was at the end of the year.
Ah, yeah. So yeah, both man at nights. But yeah, it was nice to see MVK back because I'm a really big fan of him when I see him in the ring. He's very, very good. And what's good about this is like MVK was in the first ever main event for Kamikaze 10 years ago. Well, more than 10 years ago now, probably.
No, actually, this this Friday, the date of the show, will be exactly 10 years.
Oh, it's written in the stars, isn't it?
Yeah,
I've already gone for
we
my
are.
winner.
We are literally. We are literally running 10 years to the day,
Scripting.
June the 23rd.
Yeah, that's even adding more. So MVK's only ever fought for this title once, which was at LW versus Ryan Small in 2013 as well. So this is like 10 years since that last chance.
Yeah.
And seeing his match with Connors, like he's going to be up for it this match.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, MVK was somebody who went away for quite a while, unfortunately. But yeah, he's back on the UK independent scene, back with Kamikaze Pro. He is, as you quite rightly said, one of our oldest friends. He was in the main event of the beginning, our very, very first show on June the 23rd, 2013. And it was only right, really, that he was the man who was given this opportunity because, as you said, he absolutely blew everybody away in that match against Joseph Connors. Such a great re-arrival onto the Kamikaze Pro scene, and yeah, a combination of that recent incredible performance and then his history with Kamikaze Pro, he absolutely deserves this moment, this main event, this championship shot. He had to have it.
Yeah, and like they're so like what's good about this match is the ability wise they're so similar. Like man like the Reese and Valcabius, both strong as hell, but both athletically
Yeah.
it's like man like the Reese can tell it with Valcabius, like athletically he shouldn't be as athletic as his build. He's like Kay Jutler in that kind of aspect. Like Kay Jutler's stupidly athletic for no reason in my head.
It's ridiculous. Like
yeah.
the stuff that Jutler can do for a man of his size is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, both of these guys are on that same sort of page in that they are like incredible athletes, considering, as you quite rightly said, the size of them. They are both strong individuals who bring the power but can also take to the air. It's a great clash of interesting styles.
Yeah, and it's just like I said with the other one, it's just gonna be a really good match. Like offensively, I said it's nice when two people like this get to fight each other. I probably would go like Matt. I'm probably going to go for Man Like the Race because like he's been globetrotting at the moment. Like he's everywhere, and he deserves it as well. But he puts on performances everywhere as well, and I think he wants to defend this title now.
Yeah,
because this is his home promotion. He wants to kind of build upon that as the champ.
And we know obviously that Man Like Darius was so proud of like being the first dojo graduate to become the Kamikaze Pro champion. That was a huge thing for him, and quite rightly too. And it's very, very well deserved. But while I understand where you're coming from with your prediction, I really, really would hesitate to count out MVK Valcabius because he is going to be coming in so motivated on this. Like the history that he has with the company, he, when he wrestled on our debut show, like Man Like Darius wasn't even a professional wrestler. That's what Valcabius is going to have in his head, that I've got this experience advantage over you. I've got the edge in terms of knowledge in this ring. And also, he's got the history with Kamikaze Pro. He wants to do the company proud. Like he's proud to be a part of this company. He's had some incredible matches in our history. The main event of the very first Kamikaze show that I ever worked at officially, and when I say worked, I was literally behind the merchandise desk. Like this was right way back when. It was Uhaa Nation, who of course we now know as Apollo Crews, versus MVK Valcabius, and was absolutely unbelievable. That kind of match that early on, and that's the kind of thing that I'm expecting this Friday, to be honest with you. Like a similar sort of performance from these competitors and a similar sort of roof blowing contest, although I hope they don't blow the roof off the dojo because it's our dojo. But it's gonna be absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, we need to train people in there. But no, it's gonna be unbelievable. And I mean, the fact that the history is there and we're celebrating exactly 10 years to the day since the championship was created, and of course the late great Ryan Smile became the first Kamikaze Pro champion 10 years ago on that day. Like the legacy that championship holds, and some of the people who've held it over the years, people like Robbie X, who's one of the best professional wrestlers in this country right now, people like Hardcore Holly, who's a professional wrestling legend, former Kamikaze Pro champion, Kay Jutler, who, as we've already mentioned, has got such an incredible amount of talent in him, Clint Margera, who has also been a champion. It's just look, he's great. He's good from a professional wrestling standpoint. He's great. On a personal level, he once tried to kill me.
But he did hold it a long time, though, didn't he, Colin? If we remember,
he did. Yes, he's also the only two-time champion in history. So absolutely
nice, clean wins as well. Nice.
Yeah, great Kamikaze Pro champion, also once attempted murder, so it's fine. We're
That
going to
makes
move
him
on.
even better in my books. To be honest, like, definitely.
And of course, the most recent champion prior to Man Like Durice, the awesome Sean Custom, who sadly had to surrender the title through a very, very serious injury that's kept him on the shelf for we're coming up on a couple of years now, I think. God bless him. Yeah, but Sean is a wonderful guy, and I know that he is going to be watching this match closely because I don't think Sean is too far away from potentially being able to make a return to the ring. I know that Mr. Custom is going to have his eyes on this one, perhaps going to actually have a bit of a close-up view of this contest. And it's going to be very, very interesting to see how things go from there. But yeah, it's going to be an absolutely phenomenal match for this championship that means so much to the history of this company. Again, one that definitely could go either way, and something that I'm personally just really excited to have as a part.
Yeah, so that rounds it off as well. So incredible event. Tickets are still on sale, I believe. I would hope so, unless it's sold out. No, but yeah, it's going to be incredible. As you said, like the setting you've already set, like having people standing around the ring, it's just going to be a great atmosphere. People coming back to Kamikaze. Obviously, you've had the live shows, which have been really good, but like the main shows, like the homecoming of that's going to be incredible.
It is.
So very much looking forward to that. So that's the end of the preview. Obviously we'll be having a review up after the show. I don't know why I had to inform that. It just came in my head. You know when you have to say something just to get it out the way.
Yeah.
So
it would be somewhat difficult to do a review of the show before the show,
unless I got all the spoil. No. Really awkward. But yeah, so thank you for coming on. Your Twitter handle has been down below. Is there any other plugs you want to throw out there?
I think just for us. So as well as obviously, please do follow myself on Twitter because I would love to get up over to 1,000. I've been hovering on 900 and something for a while. So personal plea, do that. But also, of course, at Kamikaze Pro UK, which is on everything like Facebook.com/Kamikaze Pro UK, and then we're at Kamikaze Pro UK on everything else. Yeah, do come and see us on Friday. Do come and celebrate 10 years of Kamikaze Pro and the return of the Kamikaze Pro main brand. We'd love to see you there. And until then, my friends, keep it pro.
Awesome. So let me do my spiel and we'll leave. So as usual, like and subscribe. All our crap is in the top right-hand corner because that's how I sell our stuff. And yep, that's goodbye from myself then.
And it's goodbye from me. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to be here, by the way, my friend, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, and thank you for finally coming on.
Look, it was only once before, as far as I can remember.
No, yeah, it was literally only once, and I feel like it was a hectic time anyway, and you just decided I wasn't worth it. Keep it bled, everyone.